Yeah, I've been a lot of places in the last 18 months. I've only had people try to steal from me twice. Once in London on a bus, and luckily I made a big enough stink, and that guy was more interested in fighting than stealing. And then once here in Angeles City in the Philippines, guy got his hand on my phone in my pocket, did a double tug on it, and almost got it. And then 2 days later, I was at Starbucks sitting on my computer, and I'm pretty careful where I sit. I watched the computer get stolen in a coffee shop in California in Chico. So, when I have my computer out in public, I'm very careful with it. And these guys are sitting outside the window, and there was two in front of me on the left, and that's who I noticed. So I noticed them staring at me. And then I'm like trying to sort out why they're staring at me, because I was deep in thought with what I was doing. I turn around, there's a guy sitting over here staring at me even more intensely. I think he was trying to see what I was doing on the computer or something. But anyway, it was very clear to me by the way they acted once I picked up my phone that they were just casing me, trying to figure out if they could get my computer. And then it's like, well, which way do I walk home or back to the hotel? And raises a whole lot of other questions that, are they just going to come grab me? And that's a problem here when you're a tourist, is you stand out. And with a beard, I stand out really easily. So, I really don't want to be walking down the street, because that guy that tried to steal the phone, he may come back and try more aggressively or think I have it on me, because I rarely carry it. But I shot a little clip right after that happened. I'll share that here now, and I'm going to do a longer video on this. The thing to remember is, when you've got that many young male adults out in the middle of the day with nothing to do, and they want what you have, if there's no fear of punishment, eventually, they're going to get the idea that if they can get it and run, it's theirs. And then when they don't get enough things or money or whatever that way, then they resort to violence. And usually it comes with a push and a grab, and then a knife and a grab, and then a rock to the head and a grab, and a grab. And this is like I said, the only place in the world I've had a problem with it, other than London. And I've been a lot of places, walked a lot of places at night. This was 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, 1:30 on a Sunday afternoon. So it's definitely changing in the Philippines, and definitely be a lot smarter, because the other thing is, think about this. If they go after a cell phone, so now they don't get the cell phone, now they want something. They see a guy walking with a suitcase, and they're like, hey, you bumped the guy with your shoulder, and I'm going to grab his suitcase and run, and he's got a backpack on. There's no way he's going to catch me. And vice versa, right? Or whatever, right? So if you got two suitcases or a big duffel bag and a backpack, eventually they're going to start to realize or think that, hey, I can push you, grab the small bag and run, because you're not going to leave the big bag, or something to that effect. So if you're traveling to the Philippines, just, exercise a different level of care than you ever have here before. Because, I'm seeing it very often. I had a guy case me a couple of weeks ago down at the far end of Walking Street by McDonald's. I caught him. And then this guy actually got his hand on my phone. It wouldn't come out of the pocket. And, then the guys at Starbucks over at SM Clark, I got them on film a little bit, but it wasn't enough to be really incriminating, but I know who they are. So, I've had a couple of incidents in short order, and today I stayed in. It's like I leave in a week or so. It's like I don't need to go out and, invite trouble. So, I'm not going to go downtown. I'm not going to go get food or whatever, right? It's not worth the hassle to me to invite trouble, especially right before I want to leave. But yeah, if you're coming to the Philippines, exercise a different level of care than you ever have, because in the last 18 months, I've been all over the world, and this is the only place I've had a problem, other than London, and that was, a drunk felon getting out of prison, getting on a bus, wanted to beat somebody up. So it is what it is. Do your best to stay safe. So luckily those shorts are really tight on that phone, but just walking down the street here in Angeles, middle of the day, it's like 1 o'clock. The guy tried to grab the phone. He did the double tug on it like he was a fish hitting on a piece of bait. And the funny thing is, like, I should have ran after him because he took like 10 steps and didn't do shit. Instead, I picked up a couple of rocks, threw them at the ground, yelled at him. But, you know, walking down the street here, even in the middle of the day, you got to watch out for that shit. And when I was here in 2019, the impression I got was I didn't have to, because so many locals, they know everybody, right? They know who everybody is. I mean, if they remember your name after 4 years, they know who all these locals are. And the impression I got is the locals went out of their way to stymie all that, to, you know, put a stop to it. And there was never any stories at any of the bars about getting shit stolen. And now, you know, you've got waitresses in bars warning you not to carry an iPhone. And I mean, this just happened at 1 o'clock in front of a ton of locals, and they all just kind of went, eh. So when I say things have changed here, I'm not just talking hyperbole. It's a legitimate, experienced event. So, you know, make your own choices. There's other places in the world I'd rather spend my time and my money. There's other places in the Philippines I'd rather spend my time and my money. Do I like hanging out at bars, having drinks with some girls every once in a while? Hell yeah. But am I gonna come back here on a regular? No, I don't think so. It's not worth the headache to me when there's other places that are more fun, without the bar girl scene, and, you know, more safe. Because at some point, that tug is going to turn into a knife or into a rock, or, you know, there's nothing stopping that person from smacking you in the back of the head with a rock to grab your phone or wallet. And there's plenty of rocks around, right? Plenty of good rocks. So it's just, you know, you're seeing escalation, and without a significant effort to de-escalate, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse. So, you know, be smart, be wise, but get off the couch and come see the world with me. Take care. So when you've got young military-age males rolling around a city that just believe if they can grab it and run and get away, then it's free, you know, it's really not a place I want to vacation, visit, or hang out. And that's what I'm starting to see here is, you know, these young military-age males believe it's, you know, seems to, or they're acting like, I should say, if they can grab it and run away with it, it's theirs and it's free and there's no repercussions. That's a bad place to be. It's a very bad place to be. Because once they start doing that, then it's just a short trip to violence. Those three guys were clearly casing me once I noticed them sitting here in Starbucks, you know. It's like, so a couple things about sitting in Starbucks. You'll notice that's a door, that's a door. So I sat as far away from the doors as possible. And you want to be careful about the two-man team or three-man team. What the first one will do is they'll come up and they'll grab something small and run away, hoping you'll get up and chase them. And as soon as you get up and chase them, the second one will grab your laptop or whatever and run the other way. So always have that in mind. Like I was saying over at the fruit market where they tried to steal my phone, those people know exactly who that is. They know exactly. And if they're not, you know, whispering in the policeman's ear, and the policeman's not over there whispering in the kid's ear, then, you know, it's free, right? If you get away with it, it's free. And even if you get caught, you know, what's going to happen? Probably not much. So, you know, people may not like me for saying this, but I like places where crime is punished harshly, and I do my best to not break the law. But, you know, I don't like having to deal with criminals. That's why I like police, and, you know, I support the police. So, too funny. Check out who walked by in the background. These chuckleheads rolled back by. I noticed the guy in the green checking me out again. Now, you can say I'm crazy. You can say whatever you want. But my experience has been, and this started with a psychology class way back when, is when men look at each other, if they don't smile or wave, then there's this animus between them. And when you're when you're a man and you're staring at another man for a length of time, and they smile and wave, and you turn away and never look back, or put a look of anger or frustration on your face, that implies something else. And that's what they did. As soon as I smiled, picked up my phone, they turned their heads and had to stretch their necks to walk away without turning back to look at me. And the guy in the green, obviously the youngest one, and the most curious, I caught him looking back and I got a good facial of him. But, the Philippines has changed. Be on the lookout. So just to keep the perspective straight here, in 2 months I've had two incidents here in the Philippines and 2 close calls. In the entire previous 18 months, I had 1 on a bus in London. So, yeah. Traveled all over. Walked at night in Warsaw, Albania, Sweden, other cities in Poland, Portugal, walked through Porto, Portugal in the middle of the night. Hiroshima, went for a long walk in the middle of the night, no problems. So many places I've been, dark alleys in Kuala Lumpur in the middle of the night, no problems. But the Philippines, 1:30 on a Sunday afternoon, on the street next to a fruit market, huge problems.